Welcome to Pledge Now. Nobody expected Didmus Barasa to beat Suleiman Murunga as a Ford Kenya Member of Parliament and a party official in the 2017 elections as a Kimilili Member of Parliament. Kimilili is in Bungoma County and considered the political bedrock of Ford Kenya. Guess what? Barasa didn't just win, but he won on a Jubilee Party ticket. Just what manifesto did he sell to his people to guarantee him the win? So tonight on Pledge Watch, we engage Honorable Didmus Barasa on the developments that his people have and are set to enjoy under his watch. And now I get to join him at this particular point so that he can tell us what is this that he promised his people and whether indeed he's been able to successfully achieve that. Mheshimiwa, how are you?
Very well, how are you?
I'm good. Good to have you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your time also.
Thank you very much.
All right, and people have been engaging you categorically on matters politics of the nation. So today we want to focus much on Kimilili. And first of all, this is the question I'd ask you. Are you proud that you have done so much for the people of Kimilili? Are they the member of parliament that, are you the member of parliament that they wanted?
Absolutely, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What makes you say so?
Because I won my elections on the basis of simplicity.
Right.
Putting their interests ahead of any other interest. Mm-hmm. This is actually what I've done.
All right.
When I was elected a member of parliament, we had 12 schools that were makeshift structures. Mm-hmm. Most of the children were learning under trees. So within a record of 2 years,
right,
I managed to replace all the 12 schools with magnificent buildings, about 5 of them with story buildings. Mm-hmm. And children are now learning from neighboring environment.
Hold it right there, Mheshimiwa. I am sure your people are going to be calling in or sending in their messages in regards to the same. They will give us the feedback on whether indeed they feel like Mheshimiwa has done so much towards transforming or ensuring that development is felt in Kimilili. Important that I invite you to be part of this discussion. Hashtag Pledge Watch. Let's get to hear what questions you have for Mheshimiwa as he gets to answer them. Of course, we'll also engage him some bit on matters of political or politics right here at the level of the nation. So, Mheshimiwa, the conversation on ground, and before we even had you on set, I engaged a couple of people from Kimilili, and some of them sort of feel like, you know, in a way, in as much as you're doing something, you tend to put so much energy on the national politics, overlooking what should be done at the level of the constituency.
Not really. I play my national politics from my constituency.
Yeah.
And something that makes me proud is that I declare that there is no single family from my constituency that will live in a grass-thatched house. So I solicited for funds from my own sources, and I replaced all the grass-thatched houses from my constituency and built them modern iron sheets that are roofed with iron sheets. And I've done it very well. Okay, and I'm also I'm a simple person. I never allowed the title of Mheshimiwa to get into my head. I'm a simple person, accessible by anybody. I mingle with anybody. I think if you ask the people of Kimilili constituency, none of them knows the name of my bodyguard. I don't have bodyguards. The bodyguards are my people. Those are the people who protect me. Yeah.
Okay, oh yes, it has to be you, man. When we see the red cap, can you see that clip right here? So this is you. Absolutely. What are you trying to pull there?
Those are one of, I construct homes. I build homes that replaced the grass-thatched houses.
Right.
But during these ravaging floods that affected the various parts of this country, we have a number of people who are affected, and they are unable, to reconstruct their houses. Right. So that is actually what I do. I build homes for my people, and I do it myself. Hold
it right there. And a question is already here for you. Our biggest question is we want to know what exactly is the impact of Didmus Barasa initiative to a local mwananchi. But before you answer that, there's something about the houses. You promised to build houses for the flood victims in Kimilili. How far?
That is just part of my programs.
Right.
We are building homes. And what we are doing is that we build homes where the rain has subsided. But where the rains are still ravaging, we can't put up a house. And there are two things. One, we have a house where water went through but is still intact. That one we are not going to do anything. But we are going to build a house that collapsed the house that the floods brought down.
Yeah.
So those are things which we are doing, and every day my team is on the ground. A house is ready, we roof. Like this weekend, we're going to roof about 12 houses.
Right.
Every weekend, we are roofing some houses. Yes.
Just how much time do you need to ensure that you are successfully able to achieve all this, looking at the little time that is left, for you as Member of Parliament as of now, unless you come back again?
First, the impact of these homes is massive.
Right.
You have no idea how a person feels if he lives in a house that is roofed with iron sheets.
Yeah.
So in my community, in my constituency, your ability in terms of to afford anything, or rather your purchasing power, is in terms of the type of house we are living in.
Yeah.
When you live in a grass-thatched house, it means you are considered to be a person who is unable.
Okay.
So the pride that comes as a result of living in a house that is roofed with iron sheets, it cannot be underestimated. And I take about a day or two to sort out a house. Right. Once a house is able to get the timber, they're able to do the roofing, I bring the iron sheets with the nails, then I finish it. Yeah.
All right, there you go. Is this by any chance under the big four agendas affordable housing in any way?
By the way,
does it fall under that?
By the way, I have seen people. This is not CDF money.
That is now the question I wanted to know. Yes.
This is the money that is coming out of my savings. My salary is about 1 million plus, and the way I spend my money is that if this, I do some kind of merry-go-round with my salary.
Okay.
If this month this money goes to my family coffers, next month it goes to the constituency, the other month goes to my family. That's how I alternate.
The conversation was there in Parliament the other day that all these the member of Parliament who are not members of Parliament anymore would wish to get more based on the lifestyle that they're living. Aren't you scared that if you spend so much on this, you might end up in such a scenario?
That's why I've said. I alternate.
Yeah.
The money, if this money is salary goes to the constituency. The next salary for the next month goes to my family.
Right.
And also I'm young, I'm barely 35 years.
You still have so much time.
So I still have so much time to
make more money.
So I will tell these people who want to join politics that never join politics when you are above 55 years.
Oh yeah?
Because you will die poor. You will have no time to plan yourself and kind of put together resources to better your life going forward.
Yes. So you're almost you're certain that your future is guaranteed anyway.
Absolutely.
Not to get to that, you mentioned something to do with schools, and I think it's now time that we look at what it is that you've done in terms of making the best of education. We know very well that solely lies on a member of Parliament's docket. And again, this this viewer, Nick says this, locals complain that you're doing temporary projects, story school buildings, roads, fake tenders, under the NFCDF. Recently, you were summoned on corruption, and yet you always condemn corruption. So before we come to corruption, first of all, let's address that one on matters, schools that you're setting up, and the buildings that you're setting up to, replace the old ones.
I'm building magnificent buildings.
All right.
If you go to the website of National Government CDF Board,
right,
you will see that they have nearly tagged.
I have done that.
All
actually.
my projects.
Yes.
All my projects.
They're actually running down on
they are
the screen
magnificent
right now.
buildings. Those are one of the best buildings you can find in a school in Western Kenya.
Right.
In the whole country.
Well, yes, this lies on your docket. Why is it that you've shown so much interest on matters education, probably overlooking some other projects that will be of importance?
There are some things which people don't know that I want to put the record straight. CDF Act only supports 3 functions.
Right.
Education, security,
right,
and environment, and sports. So much of the backbone of CDF is on schools.
Right.
You cannot take CDF money and begin to build hospitals. It's not allowed. You can't take CDF funds and you begin to build roads.
Right.
The law doesn't allow. So our focus with the CDF is only on schools.
Right.
So that's why my focus is on and not on anything else. Yes.
Having done this, why is it that you did not hit the top on the list or members of Parliament who have done so well, in how they have handled the CDF money?
No, in Mizani, Africa.
Yes.
I was in Western. I was number 1.
Yes, in Western.
In Western, I was number 1. Nationally, I was number 16.
Right.
Even though they say that in Mizani, Africa was fake.
Yeah.
But we have another
in that
one.
case, at least you support this one.
We have another one that was done in Parliament in terms of I was number 1 in the country. I was the best one I was number 1 in the country, and I mean my record speaks for itself.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, still on matters education, bursaries. This has
I've had somebody, you've asked me a question about
corruption. We're going to get to that.
Yes.
We're going to get to that. Yeah. Worry not, because I have a question also in regards to the same. But yes, on matters bursary, let's just expound step by step on matters education first of all. These issues of bursary we usually issue 20% of the total money that we allocated. And this 20% that we allocated to, we have about 23,000 bursary applicants. Right. So the only people who benefited are about 8,000. So most of the students will miss out on bursaries. Not because we have said they should not get, but because of the limited resources that we get from national government. Then 2, on the issues of bursary. Right. This 20%, for example, the last year's bursary, we allocated 20 million shillings. Right. These 20 million shillings, it doesn't come in one lot from national government. They bring little. They will bring like 5 million, like 10. Like today, if we speak now, the previous financial year, national government CDF board owes national government CDF committee for Kimilili constituency 17 million. Right. So we have some people who have received their bursaries, others have not received their bursary, because we will disburse bursary funds on the basis of how much we have received from the national government. Right. For example, we have also projects that are going on. So when we receive 20 million, we will maybe decide that out of this 20 million, let 10 million go to pay bursaries, let 5 million go to pay this particular project, so that you fund all the vote heads that were supported in the code list for that particular financial year. Yeah. Yes. All right. Okay. Well, that is on bursaries, and then one would want to ask. I'd want to believe that Kimilili houses the likes of these great schools, Kamusinga, without matter. Yes. Then one person asks, seems like these schools are losing their glory. What are you doing to ensure that they still maintain that glory that Kamu? I don't know, by little knowledge. You remember back then Kamu was Kamu. I want to tell that person that French school Kamusinga is still stands the ground. An education powerhouse in this country. Okay. It is still improving. It is not deteriorating. And we have another school called Kimilili Boys High School, a school where I went to. It has also come up as one of the best schools in Bungoma. Moi Girls High School. Moi Girls Kamsinga is kind of going down. Yes, that is something that we need to sit down with the teachers and see what is it that we can do. Right. But also, I will also blame our education system in the country, because this system, these schools, nowadays. Children are taken to a school by a computer. Yeah. It's not that the school. Yes. It's not that the school will decide which children to pick. Previously, before the school would set their own standards and say that we are not going to pick students who scored below this particular mark. But don't you think it's fair that we all have, that fair ground? Sometimes occurrences happen that get you performing badly, yet you're not a bad performer generally. But you see, there is a whole difference between a student who got lower marks from a rural primary school, and the student who got lower marks from a private, a good private school, a school that has got all the facilities. Okay. And some of the people who are contributing to lower performances of these schools are senior government officials who want to have their children, even if they have failed exams, they want them to go to First School Kamsinga, and they will kind of go to Jogo House, maybe see the CS or see the PS, and try to get an admission. As you have conversations in Parliament, what do you do towards addressing this? I mean, you are representatives of the people. You need to speak on behalf of the people. Any bill that has come on board to try and, you cannot have, there is what we call delegated legislation. Yes. Delegated legislation means that some of the small things like how to admit students, doesn't have to be done. But you're representatives of the people. Absolutely. That's why I say we have given, Parliament of Kenya has given these institutions, including TSC, to do some delegated legislation, to be able to come up with the regulations on how they can be able
how they're going to be able to come up with the regulation that will ensure that the placement of
but if they don't,
students in schools, then we will be something that we can look into.
Yeah.
But from my constituency, we have not reached a level where we say that is alarming. Because French School Kamsinga is still one of the best schools in this country. If you look at the number of students that these schools takes to the university, if you look at the number of students that Kimilili takes to university, we have not reached that level.
Yeah.
We are still above board, and we are happy with the results.
All right, let's talk corruption now that somebody asked that question. And you too, just the other day, were calling upon CS Mutahi to step down, resign, because lots of dots on matters corruption have been pinpointed at this time of COVID-19. Yet you also have cases of corruption that bedeviled you in a way, or allegations for that matter. I
want to say this by looking at your face.
All right.
I have never been summoned to anti-corruption. I have never had any anti-corruption case as far as management of public resources is concerned. Yeah. I do not have.
Yeah.
The matter that I was facing the previous
the other day, yes.
It was an alleged offense of selling a mortgaged property. That is my personal matter that happened before I became a member of parliament.
Right.
So I have never been summoned anywhere, either in a police station, either in DCI or ESCC, on matters of management of public resources as a member of parliament.
Trying to engage the people also, some of them argue that, Mheshimiwa takes money from us, says that he's going to get us jobs, but he does not do that. Some musicians complaining that you called upon them, they were doing a session and they were trying to work on something, and you tell them, what is it that you've gathered? Bring it here, and then we'll top up and ensure that, we do something for you, which is not happening.
That's the wrong person. Maybe you are dealing with the wrong person.
Oh, yeah? So
that is not me.
Political witch hunt?
That is, no. It's not political witch hunt. I have never had such kind of a complaint about musicians coming together. You need also to verify the sources where you are getting this information. It is completely wrong. I have never had any issue about money from musicians. The musicians of Bungoma, they are happy because I'm putting up a studio for them.
Oh, nice.
Where they'll be recording their songs for free.
All right.
That is coming
up. How soon are they getting this?
In the next 2 months, the building will be ready. The building is at roofing level. It's coming, funded by national government and CDF. So those people who are saying that I collected money from musicians, those are fake people. It's wrong. It's not anywhere at all. I mean, these are people they are misleading you, and I will ask you to. I will ask you that. No, let me say this. I will ask you to that when you bring a national leader here. Before you ask him a question about someone who has sent it to you, try to verify.
But importantly, that's the reason why we have it. That's why we call it plagiarism.
When I talk about fake news, I will be assisting that fake guy to spread it.
I agree.
When it doesn't exist.
Well, of course, that is why you're here, and I'm glad that you clarified that. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, but I want to tell you that it will be unethical of you as a journalist to ask a question for a leader to respond to a question that comes from a fake person, that it comes from a source not verified, because since I was born and I put it to you, I have never had an issue that there were musicians who are doing something and I picked their money. That doesn't exist.
Well, importantly, you're here, you've clarified. Thank you so much for clarifying that. And I think the people who will be watching, of course, are watching, should be able to get to see that. Away from matters corruption, you still maintain that Kagwe should exit the stage? Yeah, because you see the buck stops with him. Yes. How much money have this country received from donors in terms of fighting COVID-19? How has that money been spent? As a member of parliament, I have no avenue to put him to explain how he has spent this money, because this money was from donors. But if it was that it's from public fund, then I would have asked him to do a statement before Parliament to explain. And of course, you see, public funds are audited, but the Auditor General cannot go and audit the expenditure of money from donors. So we've been seeing this money. You remember the PPE that were given by Jackma? By Jackma, they're not there. The CS acknowledges that it's not, they were given to somebody. That same person
What is this person that we're talking about?
It's on public domain. This university student who just registered a company immediately, the first case for COVID-19.
The CS says he does not know where this
Of course, it's a suspect. There is no way a suspect can say, I don't know. A suspect will only say, I don't know, I have no idea, we have spent it well. Where is Jack Ma's personal protective equipment?
Okay.
Where is the dollars? The millions of dollars of shooting that this country has received from foreign countries to fight COVID-19. We know very well that COVID-19 patients who are in quarantine centers were paying their own bills. Today, as we speak, we have people who are still being held in hospitals.
Is it not a little bit too early to question this? Yeah? Because we're still dealing with the virus?
I mean, we need to explain the expenditure of every shilling that we receive. We need to do that. Because there is no medication for COVID-19.
Yeah.
So this money, what are we doing with them? Some quarantine centers are public institutions.
Yeah.
We're not paying any rent. Those who are being quarantined in hotels, they were paying their own bills.
Right.
So we are simply asking, where did the money that we received from donors disappear to? Because we have even Parliament has appropriated funds to the counties that alternatively should be used to buy PPEs for frontline workers and those other people.
As declared by Parliament, let's wait and see what the Attorney General is going to do in regards to the same. But again, it brings me to this question. It's hard to have a conversation on pledge which at this time without wanting to know how, respective counties, respective wards, respective, constituencies are dealing with COVID-19. How are you dealing with COVID-19 in Kimilili?
There is possibility of, coming up with the systems and the plans to fight COVID-19 rests in the hands of the county government and the national government. As a leader, what I have done is that I have continued to sensitize people to follow government protocols. I was one of the first members of parliament in this country to set aside food and donate it to the people, because of as a way of cushioning them from the effects of COVID-19 pandemic, and the other people also followed suit. I have put up 2 automatics and resin booths, one in Kimilili town, another one in Kamkuya market, where the people who are coming to the market can pass through and go home. So I have as a leader, I have done at that level. But nationally, I'm one of the young members of parliament with no underlying issues who are encouraged by the Speaker's directive not to miss the National Assembly so that we can respond to the call of duty nationally in terms of passing legislations that are going to assist the Mutai Kagwe, that are going to assist counties combat this COVID-19. So as far as I'm concerned, my contribution in the fight against COVID-19 is pretty good, both at the personal level and as a member of parliament.
And what is the strategy then, now that you're amongst the youngest performing members of parliament, so to speak, right now? What is the strategy? What is this different thing that you're doing?
It's all about listening to the people. I am different from CS Mutai Kagwe.
All right.
Mutai Kagwe is nominated by President Uhuru Kenyatta to implement the government policies within the health sector. I am elected by the people of Kimilili constituency to represent them. I act like a conveyor belt. So if we have anything that is coming up in the National Assembly, I have a system of tapping into their intelligence, listening to the opinion leaders from my constituency, listening to the people, so that when you see me talk the way I talk, I'm simply talking on behalf of more than 100,000 people from Kimilili constituency. So me, I'm a puppet of the people.
That is
not a puppet of government.
That is a secret.
Absolutely. I am a puppet of the people of Kimilili constituency. If tomorrow they will send me to impeach Mutai Kagwe, I will process the impeachment. I will come and attempt to impeach him. So I follow what the people who put me in this position who tell me to do, because these are the people who have employed me.
You have history in the Air Force?
Yes, absolutely.
Is it the same discipline that you carried from here?
Of course, you saw when you are in the Air Force, you follow the command of your people, the command of your boss.
So
when the boss says left, you go left. When your boss says jump, you don't even ask him how high. to just jump.
Right.
If you have any questions, you will ask them after doing what you are commanded to do.
Someone asks, who is your boss right now, the people of Kimilili or the Deputy President William Ruto?
My boss is the people of Kimilili constituency.
Not the DP?
Not the Deputy President. Not the DP, not Uhuru Kenyatta. The people who put me in this position.
Right.
The people that I speak on behalf. People of Kimilili constituency. The
And
people
why-
who can sack me tomorrow.
You speak so highly of the DP and you sell his agenda so much so.
The Deputy President is a friend of the people of Kimilili constituency.
Right.
He has done so much in my constituency. He has done so much. He has been in my constituency more than 5 times. You know,
Why in this particular constituency and not any other?
you know, of course, I've not been taking stock of how many times he has
He's gone
visited
to
other
others,
constituencies. He
all
may
right.
have gone there maybe equal or more. I
But
don't know.
numerously also in Kimilili.
But you know, initially I was a friend of Raila Odinga.
Right.
ODM had given me a direct ticket to run for the Kimilili parliamentary seat. But the people told me, no, don't run on ODM ticket,
You
run on a
lose.
Jubilee ticket.
Right.
So my people are the one who sent me to the deputy president so that we begin, we plan politics together with him. And this explains why I'm his best friend, why he's my best friend, because I understand where he's coming from, I understand his plans for this country, I understand his plans for the people of Kimilili constituency, because we've done it before together with him.
Right.
And we will do with him again in future.
And we're talking about great projects, great development,
Absolutely.
great
Absolutely.
change for the country.
Yes.
Okay, well, infrastructure. Let's talk about infrastructure a bit. Let's talk about the roads. And most of the times I've invited members of parliament here. For those who have performed, they pride in that. I mean, for where you have noticed that they're good roads, they pride in that. But in occurrences where they're not good roads in respective constituencies, they say that that does not lie within their docket. Anything that you're doing for the people of Kimilili in terms of ensuring that you uplift the infrastructure?
I want to make it very clear that an area where the governor of Bungoma has really tried is in terms of roads. I sit down with him and we agree that this number of, we have, for example, we sit down with him and we agree that 10 roads are impassable in the community constituency.
Yeah.
So how many of these roads are going to be picked up by the county government?
Okay.
Then we will itemize that the county government will pick this, this and that. Then I go to Kera. We prioritize what Kera should do.
You're right.
Then I go to Kura. How many roads will Kura do? So that at the end of the day, it's a concerted effort.
Right.
Between my office, through the small money that we get from national government, of course through Kera,
Right.
and of course through Kura. So in terms of road network in my constituency, we've done pretty very well. If we have these small feeder roads,
Right.
the roads that connect various homes, those ones are the ones that at least some of them are impassable and they fall squarely in the county government. And of course, you know, we cannot, Rome was not built in a day. And I think as we progress every day, we can at least account that this particular financial year, we've done this number of roads.
Right.
So from the time that I was elected, I can show you the roads that I've done, including this financial year,
Right.
the last financial year, I can show you the roads that I've done. The financial year which we've just begun here, I have already, of course, we, as a member of parliament, I have what we call a constituency roads committee, that whose membership is from different groups,
Right.
including the Border Association. I have their rep on the constituency roads committee. These are the people who will move around, identify roads that needs to be repaired, of course, by looking at the amount of money that will be allocated as a constituency.
This is totally tarmacking. And what are some of the roads? I mean, just mention them by name.
No, I've not. My road is served by 3 tarmacs.
Right.
We have the road from Chwele, Kimilili, Kamkuya. This road I do sport maintenance.
Right.
We do sport maintenance. Like
We have
like
some of them running on the screen.
when we speak now.
Yeah.
When we speak now, that road is under tarmac.
Right.
This road is the one that connects Kimilili.
Yes.
And Chepkwabi. We are tarmacking it from Kimilili town.
Right.
We are now almost approaching Hurro. This is from Chwele, Kimilili, Kamkuya Road. We are doing sport maintenance.
All right.
Where we are doing, we are tarmacking it properly.
Okay.
You know, and we are using local manpower. But the majority of the roads which we have upgraded them to gravel roads, These are roads that falls under Kera.
Right.
And our budget with the national government, it's the same across all the 290 constituencies. We get about close to about 20 million shillings.
Right.
So this one we do periodic spot maintenance.
Okay.
We don't do tarmac.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that aside, matters security, now that again falls under your docket straight away. So much has been done towards ensuring that security is dealt with at this point?
Absolutely. When I was elected a member of parliament of Kimilili, where a lot of many people were losing their lives.
Yes.
We had a lot of security issues. We had gangs that were coming up, the so-called 7 brothers, 12 brothers, 42 brothers. Musumbichi was in Kakamega, not in my constituency. But what I did, that we lost quite a number of prominent people, especially in Kamkuya. And I made it very clear. There is a day I had to hire a helicopter because somebody had been killed in Kamkuya. And the locals were somehow had barricaded the road. So I took a helicopter from Nairobi, I went to my constituency, and from that time I mentioned there were people who are being mentioned that they were the ones who are instigating this insecurity.
Right.
So I mentioned in a public meeting, I said, so and so, you've been mentioned. So next day, if we will hear that anybody had been attacked from the road,
you'll be answering.
I will lead the people to come to your house, and we will show you the shortcut to hell or to heaven, to wherever God will try to take you to. And I took the whole security committee to my constituency. We transferred the OCPD, the DCIO, the OCS, and a number of police officers who have overstayed in my constituency. And from that time, security calmed.
Yeah.
We haven't had a situation where someone loses his life. The current crimes that are happening are normal crimes which the police are able to deal with. I have asked the House to adjourn on a matter of great national importance, whether we can discuss matter security between Kimilili, Bungoma, and Mount Elgon successfully. I have done more than 6 petitions so that the government so that Parliament can inquire into the death of a number of prominent people from my constituencies. And as far as I'm concerned, in terms of security, protecting my people, I have tried. I may not have done well, but I have tried.
Of course, your people are here to attest to that, or to, dispute if there's any who's going to, and based on facts and figures like you rightfully put it. The aspect of health right now is crucial. The aspect of water is crucial, especially at this time that we're dealing with COVID-19. I remember, reading through and also having you complaining so much about the aspect of health, especially with the increased mortality rate in Bungoma County at large. So far, in terms of ensuring that the health sector is dealt with in Bungoma and also Kimilili in particular, what has been done?
One, I am the kind of a leader that knows how to advance the agenda of his people.
Yeah.
I don't just complain that health is a devolved function. That health is a function of the county government of Bungoma.
Yeah.
As we speak now, I have built a comprehensive care center for Bahai dispensary.
Okay.
I have built a TB center for Bahai dispensary. I have built a maternal child care center for Bahai dispensary. I have built 2 wards, 1 male ward and female ward. This dispensary was at the heart of service of my people, but had only 1 ward that was petitioned by curtains, where women were delivering from one particular partition with the curtains. The children were also in another particular area. So you can imagine the situation was very difficult. But I managed to build all these kind of things. So I am a leader. I am a soldier who fights from the front. And I don't just make noise. When I make noise, I also take it upon myself to visit the CEC in charge of health in Bungoma County, to have a candid discussion with him. And I'm happy that Dr. Walela quite often has been responding to my cries. And he is one man who will agree with me that yes, I agree there's a problem. But even now, we need to improve further. Yes, I know that we at least in terms of infrastructure, we have tried. The government of Bungoma has tried, but still we have more people dying than previously before. Then this tells you that maybe we picked on a wrong KPI. Maybe we need now to go down deeper and do an analysis and say, what is it that can be done to reduce the mortality rate? Is it the buildings? Is it the healthcare workers? Is it the administrative issues within the health facilities, so they can be able to try to improve it?
Right.
So that is the trajectory that the health sector in Bungoma now should take. Right. We need to do a research and find out what are these common diseases that are killing our people. Is it misdiagnosis? How can we equip our diagnostic centers? Right. How are we going to ensure that our laboratory in the dispensary is going to provide accurate results so that the doctor can now or the nurses can now prescribe proper medicine, not to treat a wrong disease. Right. So that is where we are going. That's where we need to go. And I am willing to continue sitting down with the managers of the health ministry in Bungoma, so that we can have a clear and candid conversation.
Still so much to discuss on matters development in Kimilili, but I'm afraid time is not on our side. We're going to engage you some other time as we get to expound some more on matters roads, on matters water, and what changes are going to be made. But not before we address the Mulembe Nation politics. In about a minute or so, where is the Mulembe Nation headed as we wind up?
I am one man who never believes in Mulembe unity. I don't believe in Mulembe unity. I don't believe in the so-called leaders uniting, the so-called leaders meeting somewhere in a hotel to appoint who their spokesperson is. Spokespersons, the leaders of communities are never nominated. The leaders of the community emerges. And I see this in some young people that God is raising men and women who are going to take over the leadership of the Mulembe Nation. I look at Kakamega. I see this young man Malala, Senator of Kakamega, coming out naturally. I see myself in him. We came out naturally. We don't come from big homes that we have a history or that our father used to be a DO or a DC, but we are coming out and we are somehow excelling where our predecessors never excelled. So I believe in leaders coming up naturally and write this somewhere. After 2022, some people will go home, some people will be buried politically, then those who will survive, the person who will carry the remains of the Mulembe Nation forward will emerge after the 2022 elections.
Interesting conversation right there with Honorable Didmus Barasa, Member of Parliament, Kimilili. We can only hope that we'll get some other time to find some more on matters development in Kimilili with feedback from other people. Otherwise, thank you so much for gracing the set this evening. And equally, thank you so much for representing the people of Kimilili. I hope they certainly agree to the fact that indeed they are well represented. If not so, then Pledge Watch is right here. We can only guarantee you that we'll have another chance with Honorable Didmus Barasa. In the event that you have any other question, you can be rest assured to drop them right on our social media platforms and we'll get to ask him accordingly. Thank you so much for keeping it TV47. It is now time that we wind up Pledge Watch as we look forward to see you again next week. Bye-bye. My name is Linda Alela.